A ruthless murder was committed 66 million years ago. Dinosaurs, majestic rulers of the Earth for over 150 million years, vanished in the blink of a geological eye. Witnesses to this prehistoric crime claim an Everest-sized asteroid slammed into Earth, delivering a devastating blow that caused mass extinction. This explanation has dominated textbooks for decades, capturing imaginations with its dramatic, catastrophic impact. But what if this isn't the whole story? New evidence suggests another suspect lurking in the shadows, one even more sinister and far slower than the asteroid. Let's reopen the investigation, true crime style, and dive into the theories that might rewrite history. Because the truth, as we'll see, is far more complex than we ever imagined. The last days of a kingdom. Earth, 66 million years ago, was a planet barely recognizable today. It was the Cretaceous period, hot, humid, and teeming with life. Lush jungles stretched across the continents, their towering trees home to creatures both bizarre and beautiful. Even the polar regions, despite months of darkness, supported prehistoric pines and ferns that formed the backbone of resilient ecosystems. Oceans teemed with life, hosting marine reptiles like mosasaurs and plesiosaurs, alongside ammonites and other strange creatures lost to time. Above, the skies were ruled by pterosaurs, their wingspans rivaling modern small aircraft. And on land, dinosaurs dominated. They ranged from the towering herbivores like Brachiosaurus to the fearsome predators like Tyrannosaurus rex. For 150 million years, these creatures thrived in an unbroken reign, adapting to shifts in climate and evolving into myriad forms. Their dominance seemed eternal. But as with all dynasties, the end was inevitable, and it was as swift as it was catastrophic. The prime suspect, the asteroid. The asteroid theory has long held the crown as the most compelling explanation for the dinosaurs' demise. A 10-kilometer-wide rock hurtled through space and slammed into what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact released energy equivalent to 4 billion atomic bombs, instantly vaporizing rock, soil, and anything unfortunate enough to be near ground zero. This cosmic hammer triggered shockwaves that caused massive earthquakes and tsunamis, while ejecting trillions of tons of debris into the atmosphere. This debris blocked sunlight, plunging Earth into a nuclear winter. Temperatures plummeted, photosynthesis halted, and ecosystems collapsed like dominoes. For decades, scientists have pointed to this event as the definitive cause of the dinosaurs' extinction. But was this cosmic catastrophe truly a lone assassin? Or could it have merely been the final nail in an already closing coffin? Enter the Deccan traps, a slow, liquid killer. Long before the asteroid made its flashy entrance, a more subtle and insidious threat was brewing on the other side of the planet. Enter the Deccan traps, a volcanic region in what is now India. Stretching over 500,000 square kilometers, these volcanoes were not like the explosive ones we're familiar with today. Instead, they were fissures in the Earth's crust, oozing molten rock in slow but relentless flows that covered vast areas in lava. Imagine a landscape of volcanoes stretching beyond the horizon, their slow, bubbling menace steadily transforming the environment over hundreds of thousands of years. The beast awakens. About 800,000 years before the asteroid's impact, the Deccan traps began to stir. At first, it was a slow exhalation, about 10 million tons of carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide per year. In the grand scheme of things, this was barely noticeable. But as the emissions continued unchecked, they began to accumulate in the atmosphere, creating a greenhouse effect. Global temperatures started to rise, altering ecosystems gradually but significantly. By 300,000 years before the asteroid, the situation had escalated dramatically. Rivers of lava poured across the landscape, consuming forests and releasing even more greenhouse gases. Massive clouds of ash darkened the skies over prehistoric India, while coastal ecosystems were poisoned by the toxic fumes. Local wildlife suffered first, but the effects soon spread, altering weather patterns and putting global ecosystems under increasing stress. The planet's resilience was being tested, and cracks were beginning to show. The beast turns furious. As centuries rolled on, the Deccan traps escalated their assault. Volcanic activity became even more intense, spewing vast amounts of carbon dioxide and sulfur compounds into the atmosphere. First came global warming. Temperatures rose by at least 2 degrees Celsius over 100,000 years, stressing plant and animal life to adapt or perish. But nature wasn't done playing tricks. After warming came cooling, as sulfur dioxide particles reflected sunlight back into space, causing a global temperature drop. This whiplash effect pushed ecosystems to the brink. Marine life bore the brunt of these changes. The oceans, critical to life on Earth, became acidified as carbon dioxide dissolved into the water. Plankton, the microscopic organisms that form the foundation of marine food chains, began to die off en masse. With their loss, larger marine species faced starvation, leading to cascading collapses across the food web. On land, acid rain scored forests and grasslands, further eroding the stability of ecosystems already under duress. The grand final. 50,000 years before the asteroid arrived, the Deccan traps reached their zenith. Tens of trillions of tons of magma erupted, accompanied by colossal amounts of deadly gases. The scale of destruction was unimaginable. Wildfires raged across continents, earthquakes shattered the ground, and tsunamis drowned coastal regions. The heat released from these eruptions may have even spawned hypercanes, supercharged cyclones with winds exceeding 1,000 kilometers per hour. These massive storms ripped through the atmosphere, tearing holes in the ozone layer and exposing life to lethal levels of ultraviolet radiation. As if that weren't enough, the volcanoes unleashed toxic metals like mercury and hydrochloric acid. These poisons spread globally, contaminating water and soil. Animals died agonizing deaths, their bodies unable to cope with the toxic onslaught. It was a slow-motion apocalypse, grinding down life in a relentless assault. The dinosaurs, once rulers of a vibrant kingdom, were now teetering on the brink of annihilation. The cosmic punchline. And then, just as the volcanic fury began to wane, the asteroid appeared. A bright light streaked across the sky, and in an instant, it slammed into Earth with unimaginable force. Fires, tsunamis, and a choking winter followed, ensuring that the dinosaurs had no chance of recovery. If the planet was a murder victim, the asteroid delivered the final fatal blow. But the story doesn't end there. For another 800,000 years, the Deccan traps continued to release poison into an already devastated planet. By the time the eruptions finally ceased, 75% of all species on Earth had perished. Only a few hardy survivors, including the ancestors of modern birds, managed to cling to life. These small feathered creatures are the last living reminders of a once great lineage. Who was the murderer? So who's to blame? Was it the asteroid, delivering a quick and catastrophic end, or the Deccan traps, slowly suffocating the planet over millennia? Perhaps it was a deadly duo, a cosmic one-two punch that ensured no survivors. Scientists are still piecing together the evidence, analyzing layers of rock and fossilized remains to uncover the truth. While the timeline of events offers tantalizing clues, definitive answers remain elusive. What is clear, however, is that this extinction was far more complex than previously thought. It wasn't just a single event, but a combination of factors that pushed Earth's ecosystems beyond their breaking point. Like a true crime mystery, the case remains unsolved, with each new discovery raising more questions than it answers. A serial killer beneath our feet. Here's where things get even scarier. The Deccan traps weren't an isolated event. In fact, 4 of Earth's 5 mass extinctions coincided with massive volcanic eruptions. The worst extinction, the Permian mass extinction 250 million years ago, was triggered by the Siberian traps, a volcanic cataclysm that wiped out 95% of all species. This event, often called the Great Dying, nearly ended life on Earth entirely. It seems that our planet harbors a serial killer beneath its crust. These volcanic systems, while dormant for millions of years, have the potential to awaken and wreak havoc on a scale that's hard to comprehend. And while the asteroid was a dramatic, one-time event, the slow, persistent fury of Earth's interior has proven to be just as deadly, if not more so. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the cosmic crime of the century, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Got theories of your own or questions about this case? Drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of the universe with us.